Hi everyone, my name is Angela, and in this recitation, we'll be talking about available compute and Google Colab. So Google Colab is a Jupyter Notebook service that can be accessed directly in the browser. It provides access to a lot of computing resources, including the Tesla T4 GPU, which is given to you for free. But if you want to access more powerful GPUs, you can choose to pay for Google Colab Pro or Pro Plus. And I put a link here in case you're curious about the pricing here. To access Google Colab, you can just navigate to this link, or you can also create a Google Colab notebook directly in your Google Drive by just navigating to your drive, clicking New, and then you can go to More, and then you'll see Google Colab right here. So this recitation assumes basic knowledge of using Jupyter Notebooks. So if you don't have experience with those, please familiarize yourself with it if you haven't already. We'll be using Google Colab Notebooks throughout this entire course. So yeah, with that, let's go into Bash and Magic commands. So Colab runs in a Linux environment, which means you can essentially just access terminal commands with an exclamation point. So just put an exclamation point in front of any terminal command you want, and then it'll basically work. So you can do, these are just some example commands that you can do. For example, you can have NVIDIA SMI, which allows you to view and monitor your current GPU. You can also do pip install, and there's a lot of other commands that I'm sure you're familiar with that you can do here. Below, these are some magic commands. Magic commands basically means that it's only special and unique to Google Colab. So some commands that they offer is time. This allows you to time your code. There's also debug, which opens an interactive debugger, which is pretty nice. So yeah. Next, let's go into runtime. So in order to connect to a runtime, all you have to do is click this right here, and this should connect to the runtime. This might take a few seconds, but once it turns into a check mark, that's when you realize it's connected. So in this case right now, I'm connected to the Tesla T4 GPU. If you want to look at more information about the resources it's using, you can click this, and then you'll be able to see all this information. And it's important to monitor all of this when you're training. So this is kind of a nice screen to have up. So moving on, so let's say you want to run this cell. So all you have to do is click this run button, and in this case, this piece of code is essentially just checking if we are on a GPU or not. So if you're on a GPU, it'll print out CUDA. If it's not, it'll print out CPU. So right now I'm on a GPU, so hopefully this will print out CUDA. So we can run this real quick and we can see if it prints out the correct thing. So yeah, in this case it prints out CUDA. So like mentioned, if you use Google Colab, you have access to the Tesla T4 GPU for free. But let's say if you really wanted to change your runtime, you can go to the drop-down menu. You can click Change Runtime Type, and then you can have access to all of these runtime types here. So you can click on TPU, but we don't recommend you using this because it's a different architecture. If you decided to pay for Google Colab Pro or Pro Plus, you also have access to the A100 and L4. I don't have that, so I don't have access to these. They're grayed out for me, but these are more powerful. These are much speedier and everything. So if that's important to you, you can look into getting these resources. So just kind of as a comparison, let's say you do have the A100 and you want to train something called the ResNet 50. So you don't have to know what this is right now, but just know that you'll learn this in class. All you have to know right now is this is a neural network. So let's say you want to train this. Compared to the T4, the A100 is 10 times faster, so it's a pretty nice speed up.
Hello everyone, this is Andy. I'm going to teach you how you can manage your file inside your notebook. So firstly, if you want to use your file inside your personal Google Drive, you can always call the code inside these cells. So after running these cells, you can see and interact with all the files inside your drive here. So say for example, if you are training a model and you want to save your model weights regularly, you can just make a directory inside your drive and provide this torch.save command a model save path. You should know that the saving path should be always inside your Google Drive, because you are gonna lose all the files inside the content folder when you disconnect from the runtime. And this is just the simplest example of the most basic architecture MLP. But you are gonna meet so many other complicated architectures in this course, and it may take hours and or even days for them to be trained. So, and since the Google Colab notebook is highly susceptible to random timeout or duration issues, you should really save your checkpoints regularly so that you don't have to start over every time. And for the dataset, the most common way of downloading and managing dataset in this course is through Cargo API. So if you check the code inside this cell, it install the Cargo API and make a directory to store your credential information so that you can use your username and key to download the dataset that you have access to. And as I mentioned before, you will miss all the files inside the content folder when you disconnect from the runtime. You might think it is a good idea to download and store the dataset inside your Google Drive so that you don't have to call this cell every time and wait for 10 or 15 minutes. But you may not want to do that because the I/O time between your drive and running session is quite slow, and this will significantly slower your training speed. So that's why you should always move the dataset from Google Drive into the content folder. And or you can host your runtime somewhere else by connecting to GCP or AWS. And next, there's a difference between restart the Google Colab notebook session and the restart runtime. So if you restart the session and run all here, you're gonna clears up all the session variables, but it will keeps the file inside your content folder. But if you restart your runtime by clicking disconnect and delete runtime here, you're gonna clears up everything, including all the session variables and all the files inside your content folder. And if you change your runtime type by switching to other GPUs, this will automatically delete your runtime as well. And lastly, if you are unsatisfied with your current training speed or you just miss so many duration issue, you can always spend some money to buy Colab Pro or Colab Pro Plus. So this will provide you more compute units every month and give you access to more advanced GPUs like A100. And if you buy Colab Pro Plus, you will have background execution too. But note here that even if you spend $50 a month to buy Colab Pro Plus, it gives you like only 24 hours for most, which is not a super long time. So Google Colab is sometimes not the most economical and stable way of running your code, and you are always encouraged to study your own way of doing it. And that is all for this recitations. This notebook is gonna be accessible for everyone, and you can always go back and check the code here. And good luck to the upcoming semester.